Hello everyone, in this tutorial video we are going to start the unit 2 of the material testing and construction practices. In this unit at first we are going to cover the first topic, that is plastic. Plastic, as we know, we used to use in our day-to-day life to carry out all the basic needs. When we look around ourselves, we will find there are several substances which are made up of plastics. Let's say furnitures, sockets, wall clocks. There are various types of materials which are made up of plastic. So what are these plastics? These are basically made from resins, with or without fillers, plasticizers and pigments. These are the constituent of the plastic, which we will see in the later slides. These are basically the organic materials of high molecular weight that could be molded in any desired form. For example, we want plastic in the shape of chair, in the shape of the socket. So we have got certain mold. In that mold, when we pour the liquid plastic, then it used to take that shape. That's why it could be molded in any shape. Next, some of the scientists whose contribution regarding the initial development of the plastics are as Scobin. He invented the first plastic bakelite that was developed by Dr. Bakelite. So these were the name of some scientists whose contribution in the initial development of the plastic is significant. Next, plastics are replacing glasses, ceramics, and other building materials in our day-to-day life. Why? Because due to low temperature range in which they can be brought to the plastic state. In comparison to the ceramic and the glass, they need very high temperature to brought in to a liquid state. They need to be brought in a furnace at a temperature of near about 500 to 600 degrees Celsius or sometime more. So therefore, in order to bring them to the molten state, the temperature needs to be quite large. But in the case of the plastic, at a low temperature it could be brought to a liquid state. That is one of the advantage of using plastics. Also, it is low cost and easily available. Next, there are certain classification of the plastic. We used to classify plastic into two types, that is thermoset plastic and thermosetting type of plastics. So what is the first type of plastic? That is thermoplastic. This type of plastic actually softens on heating and gets hardened on the cooling and could be reused time and again after their uses. So these are actually formed by polymerization and they have a long chain of molecular structure. Some of the examples of thermoplastic includes the material resins and cellulose derivative like cellulose acetate, nylon 6, nylon 6, nylon 11. Next, there are various uses of the plastics, as it could be used for glass for doors and windows, for electrical equipments, refrigerator parts, various drainage pipes, floor finishes and emulsion paints. There are various types of uses and these are the name of certain plastic which could be used. Next, the thermosetting plastic. This is a plastic which can't be reused once they are being used. They require great pressure and heat for their molding process. The chemical reaction, this process cannot be reversed. Such type of plastic acquires three-dimensional cross-link when we look into the molecular structure of the thermosetting plastic. So compared to the thermoplastic, they are hard, strong and more brittle. The resins are phenolic resins and bakelite. Some of the examples of thermosetting plastics like plugs, sockets, switches, knobs, handles. These are some of the examples of the thermosetting plastics. Some of the properties of plastic includes easy to work upon, they are light in weight, they require little maintenance, they are shock absorbing materials, they are corrosion resistance, high reflective index, inflammable. These are some of the properties of the plastics. Next, some of the constituents of the plastic, means if we are manufacturing the plastic, then obviously we will need certain constituent in order to manufacture the plastic, which includes resin, plasticizer, filler, pigment, dry, lubricant and catalyst. So let's see one by one each of them. At first we require resin. So what is resin? This is actually a binder for holding the different constituents together. For example, if we are making a plastic, we need different ingredients. So in order to bind all these ingredients together, we need a binder. So resins play that role of binding all of these constituent material together. Next is plasticizers. So this plasticizer modifies the plastic and gives the desirable combination of strength and flexibility and toughness to the plastics. These are mostly liquids and usually organic compounds. This is supposed to be a neutralized part of the intermolecular force, this of attraction between macromolecules of the resins. These plasticizers are consequently the polymeric macromolecules of resin which moves with the greater freedom. However, the tensile strength and the chemical resistance is reduced if you are using the plasticizer. Some of the common examples of plasticizers are vegetable oils, camphor, esters, stearic acid, triphenyl phosphate. So these are some of the examples of the plasticizer which we use for the manufacturing of the plastics. Next is the filler material. These filler materials are added into the plastic up to 50% of the molding mixture that gives the property of hardness, tensile strength, bond to the plastic. Some of the commonly used filler materials are wood, flour, asbestos, fibers, mica, sawdust. These are some of the commonly used filler material. Next, cardboard drum, that is quartz, that is also used as a filler material, mica, barium, asbestos. These are some of the commonly used filler materials in manufacturing of plastic. Next is pigment and lubricant. Pigment is added in the plastic to achieve desired color. If you want plastic of certain color, then the pigment is needed to be added. Next, lubricant, that is added in the plastic in order to make the molding process easier. Some of the commonly used lubricants are soaps, straits. Next, we have catalyst and blowing agent. Catalysts are added in case of the thermosetting plastic, and that actually used to accelerate the polymerization process, the process by which plastics are made. Next, we have blowing agent. That blowing agent could be sodium bicarbonate, which are used to produce the porous articles. Sometimes we require porous plastic, so this gives the porous property to the plastic. Next are some of the mechanical properties of the plastic, which includes the strength, stiffness, hardness, toughness. These are the some of the mechanical properties. If we are manufacturing the plastic, then we look into the properties of strength, what type of strength we require, the stiffness, the hardness, the toughness. So in order to fulfill these properties, the kind of the manufacturing of plastic we do depends upon mainly these mechanical properties of the plastic. Some of the advantages and disadvantages of using plastics are: advantages are they are light, they are strong, they are easily coloring, they're non-toxic in general. That's why most of the kids toy, they are mainly made of plastic because they are non-toxic in nature. Some of the disadvantage, which includes poor mechanical strength, difficult and disposable, because we know that they find years and years to get disposed of. That is one of the main consequence, main difficulty in if we want to just dispose of. Next, there are certain uses of the plastics, which includes there are more than 10,000 kinds of plastic, and each of them have their different uses. They could be used in bath and sink units, in electrical insulators, floor tiles, electrical conduits, the wire that we use in our home. They have plastic wrapped around them. That could be also used in foams, pipes to carry the cold water, wire resistant adhesive. So these are some of the uses of the plastic. So thank you for watching this video.